Yeah, but they've just unloaded the plugins and then reloaded the plugins and then they're starting. Here we go. We're actually going to go live here. I'm pretty sure I just saw on Kaji running the crit streak.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We're going with this. This is going to be our first rollout onto our first middle of this match. A Div 1 match between Lego on red and Saints on blue. And this is going to be ETF2L Season 15 week number 3. And here we go. We're coming up the first mid. Admirable, if you take us away.
Both demos rolling out from that main house entrance, but Dr. Phil is taking significant damage. He's going to get forced out. The soldier of Caps bombs up and lands a rocket on him, but not enough to kill him, but enough to force him out. And look at that, 3 players down very early there for the Danes. That is Lego now only with 2 men up. F2 and Dr. Phil trying to run, but there's a scout all up in his grill. It's Denia trying to go ham onto F2, but he doesn't get the frag, but at least slows them down long enough for Hank and Izon to come in and clean up. That was a wipe. Oh, the 2 spawns did come in just there from Hellberg and Krizzle. This would be a good opportunity for Hellberg to show us his sniping skills, but he will remain on scout. There is going to be no real Uber advantage here, as Onkaya, I can't pronounce that Swedish shit, but did die as well. But he has opted to switch back to Medigun. No crits Krieg anymore, Ryushi.
Yeah, it's a shame. I love crits plays. They're always so fun to watch and fun to cast. They're so aggressive and they want to get in there and they want to do stuff. But if we're back on Uber, it's going to be a little bit more stalemate. F2 getting up and just coming back, walks out of balcony, is going to walk up to choke with his pocket. Although they look like they're peeking a little bit of house. See if we can get a push through there. F2 just on Kaja just sat on mid, just nicely building with a scout there, and of course that's going to be really helpful. Get him his Uber. He does have a 20% disadvantage, so this, you know, this could go, but I doubt they'll go with this. It's not enough, and they haven't really got the position or the player advantage to go.
Yeah, now both teams have Uber charge, and it's Saints who are looking to initiate. And you may have noticed there that F2 actually got his charge first, even though Saints Medic died and respawned first. But part of that is to do probably with the fact that he spawned forward. A little bit of TF2 meta game for you there. You could even read that and make an amazing play if you were F2, but he didn't. And now Ubers are going to be traded off on the race up side. No frags coming in just yet. Actually, Izon died there. Wow, to Dr. Phil's sticky trap. I missed that, but I've seen it. And it didn't seem to matter though, because Natural's gone down after the Ubers had faded. Got focused down very quickly there. Zen went down on the flank as well. And we've had our first pause of the game with only, how many minutes left? 2 minutes gone? Wow.
I just want to see Hellberg get completely destroyed by this rocket that may be just about to go through his legs on sort of just next to Spire. There is a rocket that is literally...
Oh yeah, I see it.
That is so close. Is about to get horrible surprise.
Castrated.
Yeah.
A rocket in the ass.
Yeah, it's not very nice. Look at the scout's face. It looks so depressed about his horrible fate. Just like, oh god, it's gonna happen again.
I hope our cameraman John has got this one.
Yeah, our stream's gonna think we're weird. But yeah, that was that was a pretty strange Uber push there. I mean, well, I say strange. Onkaja dropped his pocket Izon, which obviously is not really what you want to do. But then obviously they lost Zen and Natural on the flank. Then Lego lost Zen and Natural on the flank, which stopped F2 from pushing in with his Uber. Was that a restart?
A little unpause, yeah. Interesting. I wonder, does this mean that a round has happened? Did they pause at the end of a round? Or was it just a pause in the game? I'm not going to read too much into it, but both medics unable to keep their players alive during that push, and it just sort of phased out or fizzled out a little bit there. But it does continue as Saints Smear is actually controlling the stone bridge there and keeping back those Great Danes. They're going to be forced back onto last. Can't really compete with that control over the Grey Bridge and all those players on the Spire. Now teams are going to position themselves here for a little bit of attack and defense. I love how 5 CP maps turn into this. You know, you've got the fast play between the points, and then once you get to last you can bring out all those pick classes, all those utility classes. We're going to see a sniper here and a pyro. No heavy weapons guy though. It's not going to be Six's Highlander just yet. And here comes that Uber charge in here up top from Saints. The counter Uber from F2 for LEGO is going to make that they will hold on fairly convincingly. Izon goes down on the Saints side. He was the player who committed to get that force off, and he will go down. Now he's got an opportunity here to switch up. Maybe he could go heavy. Can be very powerful, especially when pushing last, because you can't run from a heavy when he's walking into your last point as you can do on pretty much every other point. But he's just going to like totally ignore what I'm saying here, man. Please, Izon, listen. He's going to stay soldier, and both teams are going to build up over here, Ryushi, and try again, roll those dice.
Yeah, I mean, with that pyro coming out of LEGO, I mean, they just completely nullified the Uber push, and F2 maybe could have got away with not actually Ubering there, or as early as he did. And there, they asked for the pause, smear joins and natural joins. I'm not quite sure what's going on. You said they were having some sort of technical difficulties, LEGO were. I saw Zen timing out in the practice session, so I don't know if that's going to happen again. But that's probably just forced them not to push too far off last. Even though Izon was really the only one that went down there. Both medics have got Uber again, so pretty much just stalemated once again.
And we see Helberg up top here. He's going to snipe straight across here. He's hoping that the first person who peeks in here to lead will not be Ubered, and he can get that fully charged shot off. He actually fires off on a scout and misses there. Now he switched position, as all good snipers do, as I remember from watching Enemy at the gates. You get off one shot and then you start humping, moving, and he... Oh, look at this! 2 soldiers bombing here. A little bit of a suicide play from Saint. One of them gets downed by Helberg, the other one, Caps, had a little bit of trouble there, made it as far as the spawn door, but then just got put out of his misery by Natural. And LEGO, they're not too convinced by this, so they're a little bit skeptical. You know, they saw both soldiers suicide, they know they've got a man advantage, but at the same time, they know that this is part of Saint's plan. They know that they're sitting back far and hoping that they'll push into them. Now the Uber gets forced off, and Onkadja able to milk it just a little bit. He's given the full 8 seconds here to smear, but Hank and Denia have both gone down. No scouts here, they've lost a lot of width in the play. They're going to get enveloped by that red mass of players there, and a big flurry of frags come in, and that probably couldn't have gone any worse for Saints. They're going to lose Spire and probably lose middle. Here comes a bomb in though from Caps, trying to equalise the situation somehow, but he can't get enough damage onto F2, who still remains on 150, and building up that Uber charge fairly quickly. It's going to be a significant advantage here. They might be able to push all the way onto last on the back of this. A heartbreaker round maybe on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty damn good there from F2. I was watching Smear's point of view during that entire thing, and he just focused down F2 so hard, and F2 was just dodging everything coming out the end of that Uber. It was ridiculous, and then of course they just lost their players, and that's really not so good. But LEGO pushing in here with the Uber, they're going to take it, and the soldier jumps in, gets reflected by the Pyro. Pyro doing a lot of work there, eventually gets taken down, but there's people on the point, they're playing the point, they're playing the capture, they're playing the objective gameplay. It's not doing enough here. They're losing players. They're bleeding players. F2 and Natural, the only 2 alive. And can they out-DM a soldier in a demo? They know that, but they are going to get out alive somehow. It's so lit right now. I have no idea how they just walked out. That was a very nice play, to be honest.
Natural's an intimidating figure. F2 being a smart play there, running behind the point is something you don't see enough. I mean, if you run in and try and run out on the doors where everybody's also attacking from, it just makes it really easy for your opponent to defend. You can span the same location, but he just managed to survive long enough there behind the point, and then Natural was able to come in and save him. But the whole push was incredibly overzealous from LEGO, who had lots of time there to try and plan a decent push. They should have expected the Pyro, but they didn't, and they got punished. Now Saints have pushed out here and have used their Uber. Now they find that the combo of LEGO has worked all the way around behind them. F2's got that Uber, having survived with Natural, and is able to pop off. Natural unable to kill Onkadja here. He's just like a boss, down to 27 HP. He must be called low. The scouts might even pistol him down here. No, he's going to make it into the lobby, grab a kit, but Dr. Phil has managed to pick up Smear there on the point. He himself will go down, and Saints managed to hold on to Spire after that great repush.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean, F2 was in such a good position, and then coming out the end of his Uber, they just got cleaned up. That's really good. And here they're going to be pushing onto middle right now, and they're going to be capping it, just putting some damage down. They've got a couple of scouts on the flanks, and they take down Helberg, who came in from choke. That's going to be a nice sort of man advantage from there. They've got a slight Uber advantage, but it's really nothing special. They're probably just going to want to heal up, buff everyone, and then just slow push this. really. Try and, you know, put a bit of pressure down on Lego and try and get them to make a mistake. And it's so far it seems to be working alright. Here they bomb the Solly in. Ooh, on Kaja goes, drops to Dr. Phil, and the Uber just gets forced.
That's a little heartbreaking for Izon there. He managed to go in and actually force that charge. Meanwhile, his medic got dropped by a big trap there from Dr. Phil, the American agony ant, I believe. Same guy, right? Bald head, moustache. That's Dr. Phil.
Pretty sure, yeah. I didn't know it was a Danish Div 1 demo though.
Yeah,
Learn something new every day. But yeah, once again we're going to be capping this second point, Lego, and they're going to be looking to push last. How many last pushes has this round been so far? Is this the third one or the fourth one? But on Kaja goes down again, and that's going to stop the push. Izon's on 3 health. They need to just flood into this last point. They need to just play the point. There's a pyro up, but he's, you know, if he gets focused down, he's going to get destroyed.
That's disheartening for Saints here. They had that drop. Now the medic dies immediately after spawning. They're going to be quite crushed here. They might just want to get this round over and done with. The pyro drops down, but he gets annihilated. There's a soldier on the point. That's Crizzle going to get the cap. And that really just ran away from Saints there. They had it. They were pushing last, and then they got pushed all the way back. And maybe even went back and forth a few times there, but that is what you call a heartbreaker round. Hearts have been broken, and let's see if they'll be able to compose themselves from a middle here, wipe those tears away. They're going to roll out from Valley this time, and a big skip jump across the point here from Caps draws the attention of Lego. Denny comes in, picks up F2 under Hank onto Hellberg as well, and Saints have a real opportunity here to, if they can keep their medic alive, it would be give them a lot of momentum, but they can't. Natural jumps in there and avenges his own medic. Pocket jumps in and gets on Kaya. And Dr. Phil, the only man alive here for Lego, but Saints looking quite dominant. They're going to take down the demo man. That gives them a window here of 20 seconds where they can push last and not have to face stickies. We're already going to see Denia run forward. He's just peeking in to see what the setup is here on last. He might be able to relay that to his teammates. But Dr. Phil will respawn in 5 seconds, and they're not going to be able to take advantage of that. He will be back up. There will be stickies, so I guess we're going to go into a little bit of an uber stalemate here, Ryushi.
Yeah, well, on Kaja's got a slight disadvantage right now, but that's only because he waited for forward spawn and didn't really sort of build too hard. But he's going to be building with the scout right now, and probably going to move into top lobby, as it's generally the sort of favoured place. He's actually running crits, actually. Wow. Yeah, so, and they've got this, and they're coming in. They're going to take Smearin. Crizzle, the only one going down, but it gets countered completely by the Uber. It's not going to pick anyone else up so far. That Pyro doing a lot of work. Smear's actually going to get destroyed, but Izon and Denny are in the flank. Take it down. Everyone coming in from behind, absolutely destroying and just flooding onto that point. And that's going to be our second round. And that was really nice. So they can't have been too disheartened because they've just done that, and they're going to be really moraled and heart-warmed and all other words that my mouth is not working today. I can't think of what I'm saying. I'm really tired.
Spirits will be high now on the Saints team. They're back in the game. It's 1-1 here as we go on to the third middle. Caps is going to walk in through shithouse here, but it's been spotted already. Actually, it's a Valley rollout from Saints. They're keeping players in the Valley, and again F2 goes down to Denia. 2 middles in a row. Denny is straight in there to F2, and he's going to be getting a little bit frustrated. Where's the protection? Where's the cover? On Kaj has managed to survive almost, but just as I said his name, he died to the bomb in from Crizzle, the Danish roamer there. Totally jinxed him again. I will just stop mentioning Onkaya for the rest of the game.
Yeah, doing so much work there for his team, along with Hank, putting out so much damage and just focus fire completely. I think Hank meat shots him, and then Denia meat shots him on F2. I think that's happened twice now, and then they just clean up. I think Hank went down there, but Denia just putting so much damage out.
Yeah, I think somebody really needs to take responsibility for that on middle. Hold on, just need to speak to my annoying brother here.
That's okay. There's going to be a middle recap for the moment as Lego. They decide they've got a slight advantage and they're going to push with it. They're going to get aggressive and then they're going to take that mid fight, and they win it pretty much. And they've got 30% advantage coming out of this because, of course, Arnkaja did go down. So they're going to be pushing onto this second point, trying to get the height advantage. And yeah, they just Saints know they've got a disadvantage and they just back off. They hold on balcony. They try and hold a little bit defensively, but of course they're taking a lot of spam there, taking a lot of damage, and they've actually lost their Uber advantage now, because F2 actually Ubers in through lobby, I think it is. Gets forced by, well, I don't know who he got forced by, maybe Caps, who's on 30 health. But of course that's going to really stop the push onto last, and it leaves on Kaja with 100%, and he's going to be really able to push off that last point, if he wants to, with that Uber advantage. They've left the heavy there, and they're coming out, they're sat in top lobby at the moment, they've jumped down into bottom lobby, and they're going to be coming out, trying to get on the point. Hank goes down there, he pops the stickies, and Onkaja drops once again to a body shot from Hellberg, and that is not helpful. But Smear and Denny are doing a lot of damage. F2 going down, Zen going down, but they get cleaned up. And, you know, Denier and Caps, the only ones left alive, and Caps on 190 health. Is he going to be able to defend this point? Along with Denier, that Solly's taking a lot of damage, but the demo comes in as well. Natural on 77 health. They're going to have to back out, because Onkaja's just got up, and he's healing his heavy up. He wants that heavy alive.
Yeah, you couldn't really imagine a worse situation being a heavy on last there, with the sniper watching you down main. That's got to get a sweat on, but he did manage to survive, and it's going to turn into another little bit of a stalemate. Slight advantage here for Saints, but I wouldn't really expect them to push out off that one, Ryushi, would you?
I wouldn't, because last time they tried that, Onkaja dropped, and he must be feeling not very confident at the moment. And he dropped to a body. I don't know if you saw that, if you were actually watching, but he dropped to a body shot from Hellberg just like, what, 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I did catch that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's... It's not a position you want to be in, you know. He's dropped twice so far in this match, and as a medic, you're feeling underconfident, you're feeling worried, is it going to happen again? So you're going to be wanting to pop early. And pushing out of last, popping early is perhaps not the best decision, because you really want to push the enemy as far away as possible. And if you pop early, you can't push them too far, and that's really not going to be helpful. So they've just trapped up top lobby at the moment, just trying to watch and make sure no one comes in to backcap last, and there's just going to be... Pretty sure it's just one of the scouts, just jumping around in the sort of the flank area, just annoying everybody.
Yeah, there's sort of two schools of thought as medic when dealing with a sniper. You either Uber or you don't, and it's something I've debated with my team at various times, and it seems to change as to whether you just die to a sniper or not, or whether you Uber too early, but there never seems to be quite a right answer. Right now we're going to see Uber's traded in that top lobby, and F2's Uber has faded earlier than on Kaja's. He will get punished. Natural leaves him to die, doesn't bother to stay and try and trade. He works his way into the scattergun of Hank, and that was a very bad exchange right there for Lego, but if they can allow Hellberg to work his magic on Spire here, it might just sort of stabilise. He did manage to pick up Hank with a body shot there, but Saints having 5 players up there weren't really going to be troubled by that. They were going to be able to cap that fairly easily, but they do know there's a sniper, and that's going to be at the back of their minds here as they gear up to push into middle with the Uber advantage they've managed to maintain.
Yeah, Caps tries to look in, tries to find out where that sniper is, gets shut down for his troubles, but it's given them that positional advantage. Now that Saints know where the sniper is, they know where not to push from and where to get aggressive from, and they're doing the right thing and trying to push through house right now. And here they come, the Uber coming straight out onto point, trying to push as many players away as possible. Maybe trying to find that scout who's on low, and he does. Zen goes down. Hellberg actually in a bit of danger right now, not actually losing any health, but a soldier jumps after him to try and chase him. And Hank finishes off Crazel. What a nice kill. But the Uber coming straight out of Edo again. He's pushing back onto middle. And losing everyone.
The two of them up now. Only Natural and F2 remain. That was a strange decision to push after they'd already had Crizzle jump in and die. They went for it anyway. I think it was just, it all happened so fast. They lost those players as they'd already decided to push, and they couldn't get out of it in time, and it basically ended up as a wipe there. Nice Saints looking like real contenders to take this round. Big Uber advantage. F2 is going to spawn in a couple of seconds, and already on Caleb hitting 60% here on that charge. F2 will need a lot of help from his team here. He's going to look for big pyro plays from Zen, but I think he may have just been spotted out there. Also, the sniper of Hellberg might get them an entry frag. If Saints don't Uber instantly as they come into his line of sight, he might be able to just dome somebody, but we're going to find out very shortly as Onkaj is about to hit that 100% mark, and they're going to lead from main here. Uber comes in and the big damage has happened. F2 taking a lot of stickies there from Smira. He's going to get annihilated. So does Natural. His pocket, all those stickies just putting big hurts onto the Danes there. And Smear's going to get the last frag of the round too. Hellberg switched off the sniper and tried to drop down there to block, but that was already over. Nothing he could do there. We're going to go to the fourth middle here, and it's Saints who managed to turn a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead here on this first map, Badlands. of this ETF2L Season 16 powered by Blackout Gaming Division 1 fixture. What's going to happen on this middle?
Well, we're going to be watching just both players just sort of running around. The Solly jumps into Choke, trying to take down Smear. He does. Krizzle getting that successful kill. Natural as well, taking down Hank. Denia as well. So it's going to be really looking good for Lego, as they're only 2 up on the enemy team. And Natural's chasing, trying to put some damage out, but no. Onkaja and Izon managed to get away and straight back to their last. And with that scout being left behind to cap middle, that's going to be the second point capped as well. And that's pretty damn good middle there from Lego.
Yeah, much
doing
more
it perfectly,
convincing.
making sure that Denia and Hank did not get onto F2. He must have said something to his team. I'm sure he has. He said, "Don't let those scouts get on me at middle, because I will die."
Oh, big Uber here in.
That, yeah.
From the Danes, man, flashing 3 people through. They're committing a lot of players to the flank after they got that force off as well. But Hank and Denia just mincing up Natural and Hellberg. And Denia's gonna run in. He's straight on to F2. F2 forced to drop onto the stairs there, where he catches a rocket from Izon. But Denia, totally unrelenting there in that defense, just flipped the switch and went straight into attack. Picked up a frag or 2 on the way and just forced those remaining Lego players into a really tough position. They got cleaned up. Saints, wow, what a reaction there. What a great defense and pushback.
Yeah, Dr. Phil actually just disappearing around the corner onto middle, with Denia shooting him from his pistol with 9 health, so a really nice escape from him by the skin of his teeth somehow. But Red they're trying to put some spam out from house, but they're just going to have to back up. They know they've got a huge disadvantage. They know they can't really defend this. And once again, they're probably going to be wanting to play a Roma play to try and force that med early and try and stop Onkaja from, pushing them into last. F2's on 70%, holding in Crash right now. In fact, he drops Natural, and that's just so now for the Uber coming out, chasing down F2 and Dr. Phil, trying to get that frag onto him. Dr. Phil actually being put in a dangerous position right now. He's alone and with 60 health, but it's not going to be enough. Don't manage to find him, and he manages to get back onto last with his medic, leaving F2 on 100%, being able to defend this point so easily. But he gets forced early by Denia, and that's going to be really helpful for Saints to reset and just let them push last at their own pace, which is really what they want to do right now.
Yeah, everybody from Saints got out of there. Hank was still in, following up on that force, but his teammates were not going to back him up there. They were more than happy to get up a strong defensive position here on Spire and try and work up some sort of Uber advantage, but they haven't been too successful at that actually. They haven't built as fast as they could, and F2 is definitely going to have Uber charge in time to defend this next push from Saints. And there's going to be no utility classes at play here. Or actually there is Denia on Sniper, I tell a lie, but none on defense. F2 confident that he will have Uber, so he's telling his team to remain in the cookie cutter formation. They're going to send a soldier. Oh, there's Hellberg. I called it too soon. Hellberg switched up the scope, popped caps, and then straight back to scout. Uber straight it here on main as F2 tries to neutralise the sniper of Denia, but he has managed to juke them and is currently going SMG to scattergun against Zen, gets the frag, and now he's going for the back cap. Can Denia go huge here? I would be very surprised. He runs in, catches their attention, and then runs out again. And both teams effectively traded Uber there, but there was a lot more to it than that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that was just pretty unfortunate push there. I'm really sorry. I'm incredibly tired, and I'm sort of half falling asleep here. This
Pull
is not
yourself
good.
together, man.
I'm very sorry. I'll if we in the break, I promise I'll go make myself a coffee or something. I need to wake up. I'm not used to doing this analysis. I'm normally the play-by-play. I'm normally shouting so much that I'm keeping myself awake. But Cap's actually working his way into last here right now. He's a lot further ahead than the rest of his team, although they are starting to catch up with him now. Maybe he was trying to go for a bomb, but he never found the location to do it in, and it's just going to be an Uber versus Uber push. They probably want to force F2 nice and early. Yeah, there is no utilities much except from Hellberg and Denny, who are both still on sniper, so they're both trying to get as much time as possible. But Cat jumps straight onto the point, playing the point perfectly, gets it almost completely capped, and that's all they need. Lego not going to be able to push off this point, especially as Denia takes down Zen, because if that's so close, all they need to do is just stand on it.
Scout on the flank though. Hellberg's coming in to put pressure onto Denia. We'll get that pick. Onkaja sandwich between Phil and Denia. and the cleanup looks good here for Lego. And it was a nice little play from Saints. Every push they do seems to have a little bit of a gimmick or a tactic to it. You might have heard a lot of sniper shots going off there before that push actually happened, and it wasn't actually attempts at frags there from Denny. He seemed to be sniping the stickies on the point and then opening that up for Caps to jump in there and try and get a lot of time on it, but didn't pay off. And then he didn't seem to have a plan B, and Lego just dealt with it very aptly. Now the Lego push is sort of floundering here. They're trying to push out, but they realise there's a sniper on choke. Their demo man Phil is quite weak. They don't have scouts in position on the point. Hilberg takes a headshot there to bring him down to 9 HP. He's going to have to back off. With no scouts, Spire is tough to handle, and it looks like Lego are just going to say the timer has run out for this push. We're going back. We're going to defend. But they do at least know there's going to be a sniper here, so someone may take responsibility for that when the push comes in. But with 5 minutes left on the clock and the European rules, there's a real opportunity here for Saints to just park the bus. That's exactly what I would do right now. I just wouldn't push.
Pretty sure that's what they are doing, because Denny's just sat at choke, just watching the entrances, and you know they're not looking to push. They want to wind this clock down as much as possible. I think they will push because, well, you know, it's kind of boring not to. But I mean, Zen's actually running spy. Just gonna watch this. Zen is running spy. He's either looking for them and then he'll go back, or he's actually going for the pick. And I think it's more likely to be the pick. He wants to either take down that sniper so that his team can just push, or he wants to get that medic. I think probably the medic mostly, but he's gone back. He's just walked all the way back. He was just looking, and that's such a shame. I was hoping to get some big spy plays out of him. Now that they know where the enemy team is, they definitely won't want to push this.
They are going to push it. They've switched off from sniper and spy to 2 scouts. They want to get time on that point. They're going to get a frag now on the flank. Natural onto Cabs there, finds the rumour, and that's a man advantage they can work with, but immediately it neutralises Denia. Gets the fully charged body shot onto Natural, then the headshot onto full Denia. Really keeping his team in the game here, actually creating a very advantageous situation. In Bond's eyes on and trades with Zen, and those stickies just waiting there for Krizzle. He was hiding above the point. Onkaj is going to go in and just clean up there against Helberg, and I know it's sort of the perceived TF2 logic to have 2 scouts when you're pushing Spire, but if you know they have a sniper, why didn't they just keep Helberg on sniper and try and counter snipe from the balcony or something? Like, when a team takes that very defensive position, you can exploit it, but Lego didn't opt to. They tried to make an aggressive play there and they got punished by the sniper. Denia really hitting his shots up, so we have seen him do it in the past, but onto this middle it's getting hectic as Saints roll out from Valley and try and just jump straight onto the point, but they've taken a lot of damage, had to fall back, and now they're trying to work the angle through Closet Shithouse here, and actually they've been divided from their medic. Onkaj escapes with 40 HP with Hank. It seems like the rest of Saints are just on a mission to suicide here and try and trade frags. Nobody realises Smear's behind. He's got a bomb in though onto F2. He sends Sticky's airborne, gets F2 with 2 sticks landed on the ground, and they just seem to have lost track of him there, and that's going to be really hard for Lego to come back from.
Well, I mean, there's 3 minutes left, and they wanted to push that. They could have still got 2 rounds and taken it to a golden cap, but I think with F2 going down right now, it's unlikely to happen. I mean, it could still happen, but it's definitely unlikely, because they're going to be pushing against Lankaja, who's got a huge Uber advantage and a sentry. F2's gone crits. They obviously don't know about the sentry, so maybe they can try and get that early force, or even a drop out of Lankaja. Try and just, you know, just push. They find the dispenser, so they know there's a sentry, and they want to get that down as soon as possible so that they can just push him with this crits, because it's on 95 right now, and he's going to be pushing him with yeah, there. Onkaj does drop. That's the perfect result from a crit. Then he takes down Denny, Smear and Eyes on as well with 1 sticky. That's really, really nice. The sentry's just going to go down here, and that's going to be us to make it 3-2, and that leaves us with what, 2 minutes 13 seconds left in this last round of the match. So we'll see if it's going to go to Lego. Lego need to get this round to bring it to a golden cap so that they can still win this map. And let's see what's going to happen, because they must be feeling pretty proud of that, making Onkaj drop again. He's dropped 3 times so far this map, which is not good for a Division 1 level. Not what you'd expect, but they're getting really aggressive onto that right side. They take down Onkaj early on, and that's going to be so helpful because now they're running with heals. Caps goes down as well, and once again it's looking like it's going to be an easy middle for them because they take eyes on as well. They're going to be pushing straight off this middle, trying to get onto that second point and take that as well. And Smear's on 120 health. He does take down Zen though. That was a nice middle, and it's what they need, especially as F2 is still running that crit screen. He's on 100%, and then he brings back up to Engineer, but is it going to be enough? That sticky trap.
This new Engineer Limit 1 for Season 16, he can't get that certainly up maybe as fast as he'd like. But he is going to try at least level 1 here. Crits comes in again, but Pyro is there to deny. Honkaji will survive the first crits at least, but Dr. Phil still has a few seconds remaining. He's going to find Hank there. The Pyro goes down. And now this is really make or break here for Saints. They find themselves at a man disadvantage. Hellberg about to respawn, but Caps will soon be back up already. Denny has gone down now to replace him in that spot. There's a player on the point. They're just committing bodies here. The stickies of Smear, not enough. He was in a bit of a reloading pattern there and couldn't get enough damage on the point to block that. And Lego have somehow managed to claw this one back. And something I just want to mention there, like, I know from playing pickups with Denny and stuff, I think he's one of these scouts with the spy switch script, so I'm not sure if he knew they had crits there, but definitely didn't seem to deal with it. They lost their thing and things just seemed to control onto this decisive middle here. Only 20 seconds remaining. Neither team reckons that they can get it. Onkaj is going to go down immediately to Zen though, but it looks like we will be going to a golden cap here. It's 3-3 right now on Badlands, the first map of this fixture. It will be settled by a golden cap. No team is going to cap with 3 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, so, I mean, this reminds me of the match where Saints played against 425, because that first map, it was 4-4 coming out at the end of the first map, which of course took the golden cap, and Saints lost that against 425, who, theoretically, coming into the beginning of the season, were considered a worse team than Lego. Lego should have been top Div 1, 425 bottom Div 1. So, Saints, maybe they're... Yeah. Saints, maybe their weak points are their golden cap rounds. Maybe they can't handle the pressure. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now.
Somebody get Gentleman John on the phone here. We need a statistical analysis.
Oh, did you see that latest article?
Oh yeah, I read it, man. Good. I just I love bright colours in pictures, you know.
Well,
that gets me.
Which TF2 player doesn't? Bright colours and pictures. That's what TF2 is all about, isn't it? You know, all the cartoonish players and violence and maps and everything. It's lovely. Beautiful. That
floats my boat for sure. And me of Jimmy Breeze.
John, please don't talk about porn. Honestly, this is a family-friendly cast. I know they can't hear you, but it's despicable.
Yeah, John again, just whispering all that bad stuff in my ears. Like, I wasn't even going to cast today, but John actually kidnapped my family and is currently holding them at gunpoint. So, Mum, if you're watching this at a future time, I hope you survived.
Wow, that's pretty harsh, John. I mean, I did say I wanted to cast with him, but that much? I mean, really? It's just, I'm disappointed. But here we go. We're going to be running onto this golden cap round right now, Admirable. So console yourself, and we're going to be going onto this round. Wow, I'm really not making a lot of sense today, am I?
You are. You're a beautiful, quirky Englishman, you know. But right now I'm watching a Great Dane here rolling out from Valley. It's Dr. Phil. This might actually be one of the first shithouse rollouts we've seen from Lego. They're going to bring this one out of the playbook and work their way up onto that blue side. And both teams adopting the Valley rollout. They're basically going to trade territory here. Blue onto red and red onto blue. But the first frag has come in against Crizzle and Caps. Those roamers committing and trying to create the space for their teams, but both of them going down. Now Hank and Izon coming in, and there's the Kritzkrieg! We only just spotted it! Kritzkrieg in from Saints, but F2 is positioned far away. He's going to be able to survive now. Will he and Natural push on this one? Do they think they're low? Do they fancy their chances here? This is a really brave move. They're going to lead in. Gonna go for it. Who's Natural to go for? He gets the demo man. He could go for the medic, but it's not really that important. There's the spawn coming in as well. Frizzle first to die, first to respawn, just in time. Comes in and picks up F2. Natural chases on Kaja down. Gets the shotgun frag. And Natural just went huge there. That is why I was bigging him up in the pregame, and he is a Premiership standard soldier doing work right there on these Div 1 scrubs.
Yeah, that was really, really nice.
working that shotgun action, making sure that he hits those shots onto that medic, and when he gets bounced up into the air, it doesn't even matter. He just doesn't care. He just whips it out and he just puts the meat into the medic. No, I've lost that. I lost that. I lost that.
Puts the meat into the medic.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Here we go. We've got a 90%.
This is John's influence again.
Yeah, it must be. I was perfectly alright until I met him. And then 70% Uber advantage on F2 right now, and they're going to be pushing in through this flank. He actually gets forced by caps, and that's really not helpful because it's just going to allow Saints to just back right the way to last and then push out as soon as they're ready to. But they take it. F2 in fact goes down as he walks into a sticky trap from Smear. Zen going down as well, and that's not going to be good. Dr. Phil trying to work his way into last right now. He's not quite on full. He's just trying to try and solo it, but with 2 scouts and a soldier, he's just going to have to back out. And you know that was an unlucky push. Caps getting that beautiful stick. Force. Oh god. Getting that beautiful force, and then F2 dying to that sticky trap just as he walked through the door, and that's just so unfortunate. And Saints just going to recap this. The Uber gets popped out of Onkaja, does not want to drop again, trying to chase players through choke, and Crizzle does go down to some beautiful sticks from Smear. Zen going down as well. Izon jumping in, trying to do as much damage as possible. He goes down, but he takes natural with him. Smear kill securing. And Hank and Denny are getting onto this point. Hank out DMing Hellberg, who's got 185 health and was being healed by his medic, and F2 running away, firing needles to try and assure that the scouts weren't chasing him. But they're just going to be content with capping this point.
Lego looked a little bit complacent there. It was sort of like one of those situations where you've seen 1,000 times before. One team Ubers and capped Spire, and you think, yeah, this is going to just break down into a little bit of a lull in the action here. But Saints just kept going. They pushed in with their combo. The scouts were immediately through the house Denny and just driving a wedge between those players on choke. Phil and Nitro, I think, got isolated and taken down, and it was just great aggression there from Saints, and they found themselves in the driving seat here. They've got a scout position. Look at Hank, he's already in on last. He's just standing on the bottom right stairs on the attacking perspective. Will he go for a pick or play the point? There's so many stickies there. He's going to run on. He just edges it a little bit. Gets a tiny bit of time on there, but he gets the force off. Very importantly now, Saints in a position here to use the Uber, but it looks like they want to push rather than wait for spawns. This could be a little bit unwise. They're just going to hold here on the right hand side, wait for those spawns to go in. They know they have like 40 seconds here, or less than 40 now, but they have a lot of time to wait and make this push effective.
They get that frag onto Zen, and that's going to be the entrance they need. They're just going to push straight in with this Uber. They know they've got advantage. They know they've got player advantage. Here they come. They need those frags. Hellberg not going to be able to get any snipes off, and he goes back onto Scout. And it's just going to be playing the point. Denny and Izon going down though to some nice kills. And they just need to get those frags off right now. The heavy comes out of Caps. He's suicided, came up with the heavy, and he's going to try and just put damage down on everything.
He's managed to make it all the way into last. He's got into the perfect position as Heavy, where he can see pretty much everything. All he needs to do is run on the...
Uncut, no, Dr. Phil. Oh.
He could have just whipped out the old minigun and killed those stickies. Maybe sacked his medic to go for the point. There will have to be some combination of plays there that would have made that convert into a cap. But right now we're going to see Hank roll the dice here on Spy. Will he just run onto the point and try and get the old cap timer going, or will he make an attempt at medic pick here perhaps, or a demo pick? Either would be good to get some time on the point. He's just ghosted in behind you. There's a soldier building up top, and that might camouflage his decloak, and it seems to have. Nobody's looking for a Spy right now. He's in position to get him two. He's he hits him with the side stab there, but does not get the back stab. Flick. Helberg confirmed hacker. Look at the position here of Saints, very defensive. They've got sticks on the drop down, and you know why that is, because it's golden cap rules. If neither team has capped after 10 minutes, team that holds middle wins. So right now Saints are in a winning position. Technically they don't have to push, man.
Well, it's 4 minutes 20 left, and they must be getting pretty impatient. I know I would be. You know, you want to push, even though you don't have to push, you want to, because it's just fun. And they're actually getting pretty sort of aggressive onto that flank side. Natural just stood there, just tanking all of that damage, and Halber gets killed over on the other side though. And Saints, they've moved up to Grey Bridge now. They want to get aggressive. They've got Uber. They've built that. They know they've got it, and they know they could. They know they could push, and I think they do want to.
You know what's more fun than pushing?
What?
Winning. Just hold, no. Man. Just hold. Just hold.
It's so boring.
Play the rules. ETF2L admins. They're the ones to blame. I still want the infinite time limit, but it'll never happen. Right now, though, it looks in danger of being exploited. 3 minutes 30 left here on the clock, and it ticks down towards a Saints victory. Eventually, you know, Lego are going to figure this out. They're going to realise, wow, golden cap, we need to push. They waited as long as they feel comfortable. Now as it approaches 3 minutes, they're working their way forward into the lobby. There is a scout position here. Hank hiding at trash. He's on the barrel there, cloaked slightly by the bushes. He wants to play for the back cap, but Lego have left a soldier behind there on last. Hank now moves his way down in lower here. He will find Crizzle up top. Crizzle lands a good first shot there. He only needs to land one more rocket to get his frag, but it looks like Hank has evaded him thus far. He goes up top but doesn't take the net. He drops down and gets the frag. There's a soldier spawning, and it looks like Hank has just clutched it.
Oh, that was so beautiful by Hank, just getting those nice shots onto, and that's going to be our first map going the way of Saints with a 4-3 victory for them. So perhaps not being foiled by the golden cap, like I said earlier, as that was it was a slow golden cap round, but it was pretty damn nice with that beautiful clutch by Hank right at the end.
Yeah, and a big shout out to F2 for waiting 90 seconds before changing the map. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that sort of thing, but we did just see the first map there, Badlands, go to Saints in a golden cap and an ETF2L points. That means Saints are going to pick up 2 points from that, and Lego will get 1. So right now we're going to go into Metalworks, which is a new map here in Europe, and potentially a very upsetting one for one of these teams. Who's going to be the least prepared? We will find out soon.
I really enjoy it. I think it's a really good map, and I enjoy playing it, and I enjoy watching it as well. You know, that it's got that huge sort of bottom area of that second point, and that's just beautiful for just watching soldiers just jump up and surprise everyone, and it's just such a good map. And I know some people won't like it, but you know, sod them. I like it.
Yeah, I like it, but it's the same with any new map. It always seems to have like a 50-50 acceptance, because teams either win on it or they lose on it, and they're like, oh, if they lose, this is a terrible map. They win, they're like, yeah, this is okay. But over time, we will find out. In America, it's probably not the most popular map in ESEA, but most people have at least come to accept it. One thing I will say is that there is a very long spawn timer on last, or it can be sometimes incredibly long as the defending team. The spawn timers don't really aid in defense. You can get punished very badly, but we'll see if that comes into play, if anybody gets that unlucky 20-second spawn on last. Right now though, teams are just rejoining here. Saints probably right in the crest of a wave. Lego asking where it all went wrong. They looked like they had things under control. After they came back from that 3-1 deficit, you thought maybe, you know, Lego were in the ascendancy. They were going to turn that into a round win, but Saints, too strong, man. Hank with the big plays. The only non-Swede in the team doing work.
Yeah, I mean, that must be pretty bad. I'm assuming they're talking Swedish. So his first language would be Finnish, and the comms is Swedish. So that's probably not a, you know, not he'd obviously prefer to have his first language. But
I'm gonna guess that it's English.
Have impacted him as well. Pardon?
I'm gonna guess that it's English. We'll
Really?
have this bet settled afterwards.
No,
not
it
sure.
must be Swedish.
They're all pretty good at English if you play pickups and stuff with them, but
Oh yeah. I'm not saying they are.
yeah, the Finns are definitely good at Swedish too. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. I know you're already having trouble today. I'm just trying to throw a spanner in your works, man. See if you just start spewing out smoke and electrical sparks.
I'm just talking complete shit right now.
I'm a bad man.
Zooming around the map, just like looking at like windows and things like that. It's ridiculous. I can't concentrate. It's horrible. Ugh, too much alcohol last night. That's what it was.
Tell me
It's
about
just not
your
good. It's
your
not
boozy
good for
adventures.
you.
One too many pims.
Oh yeah, definitely Pims. It's just I think I had 3, and it's just it's absolutely
I had a
ruined
white
me
wine
today,
spritzer
darling.
that went straight to my head. Oh dear.
Yeah. But I mean, that native language is probably not helpful. I reckon it's Swedish, and then obviously the Danes will be in.
Karhunen from MIPC messages me to say Hank is Finnish Swedish, living in the coast, mainly speaking Swedish. So I think that gives your theory some credibility, Ryushi, and I'll just have to climb down off my high horse.
Yep.
You were right,
there we
man.
go.
You should have had the confidence to
Well,
stick with your guns, go with your gut. But you know, you
I
started
was
to doubt
trying to
yourself.
stick with my guns,
started to
but
doubt yourself.
You got me confused. I don't know what's going on. I think
You
I'm
know,
casting
whenever you're in the
TF2, but
presence
it
of,
could be
the
League of
king of
Legends. I'm not
TF2.
entirely sure.
You're in the presence of the king of TF2, you get a little bit flustered, you know?
Well,
It's
John
okay.
is pretty good, I have to say.
Oh. Yeah, that's right. John's one of my loyal subjects. He's my court jester. John always cracking me up with the jokes here. And the filthy chat that no one else can hear.
It's honestly a little disturbing, I have to say. I mean, I know for a fact that he's only 15, and if you can see from his picture on the overlay, he looks so innocent, and then just the things he says, it's ridiculous.
15 going on 50, yeah. He's like an old sailor or something. Dirty mouth full of disgusting stories.
Wow, seriously, John? I'm just in where? Oh,
I've got a little request here. Frick's asking, what was the score in the first map? They've just joined us. It was a 4-3 golden cap win for Saints on Badlands. Went into 7 minutes worth of a golden cap, maybe even a little bit more whenever Hank came in with a little sneaky back cap to clinch it for his team. But we're going to go to Metalworks here. We're just waiting for Natural to leave Spectator and join that red team, and then things will get underway.
yeah, let's hope we don't get too many pauses, because so far every map that I've casted so far in this season has been racked with pauses. Last one wasn't too bad, it was only a quick minute or so, but it seems to be happening a lot this season. And I don't know whether it's just me or whether it's just more games that I've casted. A lot of pauses are coming out in the higher divisions. Maybe it's just plagued by internet issues, I don't know.
I was just reading the Twitch chat here as well. Stunner Kitty is calling me out in the inconsistency of my John stories, saying that as a court jester that's holding my family at gunpoint, we have a weird relationship. Lol.
Well, I mean, he's like the Joker in Batman, you know? The Joker could be seen as a court jester type figure, but he's also the kind of person that's, you know, likely to hold your family at gunpoint.
Yeah, Ryushi's my ghostwriter here to flesh out the backstory.
Absolutely.
Thanks for saving the day there. Look, there's Natural on the server. We're probably going to get underway soon. I'm going to just let them know that we're ready. Maybe they don't care. Oh, I hear one team ready up.
Yeah. Yes, I know, John. I saw that. That's ridiculous.
We're live. And I'm noticing that there is no Kritzkrieg this time from Onkaja. He did roll out Kritzkrieg on the first round on Badlands. This time he's going to stick Medic, and I didn't even get to use it that time. But it will be Uber versus Uber here on middle if the Medics survive long enough. And pretty decent rollout here from Dr. Phil. I'm not sure if he's using the Cadis trademark rollout, but he has got there incredibly fast. I'll have to watch him next time, and he's been able to control the middle situation significantly for his team to arrive here. That's resulted in Hank and Onkaja going down. Natural Bomb then got that frag onto the Medic Hellberg, onto Hank, and things just slipping away here from Saints. Only Smear remains alive, and he's already being flanked. There is a Medic waiting for him there, flanked by a F2, no less. But it's Hellberg that gets the frag.
They are asking for a restart. Not quite sure what happened. I was watching Smear roll out to mid, and he just sort of stopped in the middle of the thing for like 5 seconds and just stood there, and then kept moving. So I don't know if he just had a bit of a lag issue and they just wanted to restart. They haven't actually restarted yet, but I don't know if it's going to happen, because obviously without Smear on that middle, it's really not going to be helpful if you can't play a middle without your demo man. But Hank big snipes onto Natural. Not going to be Denny this time. It's going to be Hank taking down that pocket soldier, and that's just going to stunt the push from Lego. They could still push, but it's going to be without that huge damage dealing machine of their pocket soldier Natural. And in fact, they're coming in on the left side.
Sneaky level 2 there from Denia under the bridge. Not really the first place you'd look for a sentry. And he's going to get the shotgun frag onto Dr. Phil, but already 2 players down here for Saints, but 3 down. Oh wow, F2 gets caught out. He wanted to commit there with Hellberg, or was in 2 minds as to what to do. Goes down to the rocket of Caps, who picks up a brace there. Izon gets a brace of his own, finding Zen and Natural, and that's enough frags for them to be able to push out from last year. And they might even still have a sentry in last. No, Denny has switched back to Scout. That's going to give them extra cabin power and a lot more width as they move forward here in very defensive position from Lego. There's 4 stickies on the right from Dr. Phil, and Uber being built frantically here by the Boston Basher Scout of Hellberg. Actually, he's rocking the 3-rune bleed because he's a baller.
Yeah, it is the best weapon in the game. But they're looking to push in from this flank area right now. They've got that overhealed demo. Onkaj has got Uber, so they know they can push in. But I'm pretty sure I just heard a sniper shot, but no, I'm just imagining things. They're pushing that Uber through choke, trying to find that heavy. F2's pretty lit. He's on 60 health, and that's not a position you want to be in when you've only got 75% Uber. But Hellberg, Crizzle, and Zen going down. Everyone taking damage in that choke area. They're just backing up to second.
Seemed like the non-flank players for LEGO didn't get the or didn't send the memo to the flank to say that we're getting out. Everybody that was in there died, both scouts and the roamer.
But Phil just stick traps on Kajma, takes down Smear with the crate and takes down Hank as well. I don't even know where that stick trap came from, but it got the precise thing that he wanted.
There's Caps as well, hiding bottom left on the red perspective, and there's a scout here as well in position for a back cap. Denia sees a soldier jump past him, opts not to shoot him. Now Caps is thinking to come, he can come and help, but as he prepares to jump up, Hellberg comes in. Just a totally unfortunate timing there. Saints had two players behind, but just got slightly caught out there. The call came in as well, and the whole of LEGO came back to block that as well. They were not taking any chances there.
Smiz just jumped behind, got on second all the way, but gets destroyed by Crizzle. And Natural once again capping that middle point, pushing forward as a heavy. And you just can't stop him. That heavy, you just cannot stop him unless you put enough damage out. And with Onkaja and Smear and Hank all still down, this is going to be an easy second point for LEGO. And maybe an easy last point as well, because F2's got 100% advantage with that Uber. And with an Ubered heavy pushing into last, even with the sentry coming out of Denia once again, it's probably not going to be enough. Caps brings up the sniper though, so we'll see what he does. Eyes on with the counter heavy. They've put a lot of off classes defending this point, but LEGO just rushes straight in, trying to find that heavy. Heavy goes down. Eyes on, not going to be able to do anything. And NG trying to come in from behind, trying to get as much done as possible. He's actually going to take down Dr. Phil with the shotgun once again. LEGO not going to be able to push this point, but they do. Oh wow! Just everyone, just frags going all over the place right now. Caps taking down Zen. Caps going down to Natural. Natural taking down Smear as well. They could just walk him onto the point. It's only Eyes on. Just keep him buffed and just walk onto the point. But no, they've just got the spawns over on Saints, and that's going to be enough to defend.
That's the low risk play right there. They recognise they had the medic pick. We can just build up an advantage, and that's what they choose to do. Yeah, I was sort of in your camp there, Ryushi. I would have liked to push there and just try and roll the dice, send in your 450 HP to try and just tank it on the point. But I mean,
well,
really,
it was only 150 health soldier up. That's all it was. They could have got on that point before that scout spawned and got to the point. I think they could have done it. But hey, I guess they don't know the health.
They're going to lead with the scouts this time.
I do.
Two scouts over in from the left side on the attacker perspective, trying to do work and just get that medic before he gets his charge up. They do pistol down on Kaja. That's what they wanted to do with that charge, and they executed that well. I think they learned their lesson from Ubering in with the heavy last time. I was actually surprised how effective leading with the heavy was for Natural, but I think Saints didn't do a good job at forcing the Uber early enough on that original push, but the second push was good with the scouts able to close that distance down so well. That's going to be 1-0 to LEGO here again, taking a lead, and Smear seems to be hitting his rollout more effectively this time, and it's going to be neck and neck as both them men arrive at middle and come out of that top door. Smear's opted to drop down here. Zen's died to the scattergun of Hank, and now we see the soldiers from LEGO trying to initiate some action here, and the roamer of Crystal is just jumping, taking scatter shots, and eventually unable to land that killer blow onto Onkasha, but F2 went down way earlier on there to Caps, and he actually picked up a 3k there, I think.
Yeah, and finishing up on taking down Dr. Phil as well, who's now been caught out. No sticks for the next 10 seconds, and they're just going to push this last. They're coming out straight on that, strong on that right side, looking to try and get into that Pyro's face. He goes down. A nice Uber capture, and that's just going to be the point, really. There's the heavy, gets surfed across the point, but gets piped in the face by Smear, and that's going to be pretty much a repeat of what we saw on Badlands as well. A long first round going eventually to LEGO, a bit of a heartbreak in the middle there, and then that second round, a really quick round by Saints, and that's exactly what we've just seen.
I noticed Denia switching to Spy there at the start of the round, checking to see what Medigun F2 is running, so they will know it's going to be Medigun versus Medigun here on middle. And this time Dr. Phil's going to roll out from lower and actually catches the scout there with a little sticky. Denia's lost his buff, he's on 100, will die to one rocket, one direct. Anyway, the position Saints are so good at taking up a superior position here, as Lego just seem to sit back and wait for Saints to come to them.
Caps.
Wow.
Caps just
Caps
jumps in on
again.
3, gets 2, and then finishes off to F2 as well with the reload. Just, wow.
The strategy from Lego was really wanting here, though. They're not trying to get up top at all. They're just like almost waiting to see if Saints will give them a free pick, but they wait so long that they're taking a lot of damage, and Caps is able to jump in, land those 2 or 3 rockets, and pick up 3Ks. And we've seen that on 2 middles successfully. Here comes an Uber from the left side. Pyro's going to be able to deny it. Helberg will buy time for his teammates here, but the invulnerable Saints have managed to make their way to the point that Heavy of Natural might be too slow to get there to block, but no, Dr. Phil manages to clutch it for his team, picks up 2, and the scouts are going to clean up. Zen's going to follow up damage here. Natural gets 2 as well, and that's going to be a wipe, baby.
Yeah, completely wiped there. I'm afraid I'm lagging slightly, but it's going to be a second point capped straight away. They might even be able to push onto middle as well, but Denny has spawned as that sniper, and he's going to be wanting to dome F2 as he walks through that choke, although they may not be coming through choke. Have they paused? Or have I just lagged out?
Oh, it's a big pause, baby.
Oh dear. I shouldn't have called it, it's what it is. I jinxed it.
Curse of the caster, man. It's a real thing.
Ugh, but I mean, the positioning on mid is just... Saints are just getting really, really beautiful position. They're pushing Caps up that right side while they distract with the left side. And with Lego, as they keep coming through that sort of valley area, and it's not the best area for being in when Aroma jumps you. So Caps just walks straight up onto their choke and then jumps straight off from the little sort of launch pad bit. Just, I think he's just done that twice in a row now, and he got a 3k each middle, which don't really want to be letting the Roma get a 3k.
Yeah, I'd love to see the scouts or the soldiers of Lego actually take up a little bit of a position. Just like stand on a crate or back on the little roof, someone to be able to protect F2 or take out Caps. If they want to play that defensive style, you know, that's fine, it can work. But they just seem to be allowing Saints to take up good positions, good spam positions, taking a lot of damage on the floor, where like obviously it's easy to soak up damage. And then as they back off, Caps comes in and picks up those multi-kills, those sprays. But we're going to see what happens on this re-push in middle. It's not going to be the same at all. We do have a sniper here from Denny. He's watching straight across there. He's expecting to see some action from that upper door on the red side of the lobby, or atrium. That's why we were trying to rename it in the One Night Cup cast, but I don't think that's caught on. What would you call this area right outside middle? The lobby, right?
Room. Or like
Room.
the bit where I die repeatedly. That bit normally. Oh, but Denny, he's found F2 and he doesn't manage to get the shot off. Zen finishes him off.
And with that count, and with that the threat of the sniper gone, that should be an easy cap for them onto middle. With Onkaja, I think he's only just spawned, and they're going to have a pretty big advantage onto him. They should be able to push second as well. Might even do it without using that Uber, because once again, Natural's still on heavy, I think. Natural?
Zen is on a hell of a round here as well.
There's a heavy somewhere.
Zen got 2 frags in the last defense, picked up 2 on middle. He's pushing forward, does go down eventually, but Smear was hiding there by the window trying to make some huge trap play. He's gone down as well, and that leaves Saints very short-handed on last. They've no demo man, and they're missing a scout as well. Ubers will be traded though, as Onkaj did manage to get it in time, but will the spawns come in time here? The Uber has just faded, and Izon finds himself coming up toe-to-toe with the heavy, but he drops under, hits F2 with a shotgun and takes the medic out, but there's still only Zen remains alive actually. Zen has respawned, and he doesn't fancy taking this fight on. He's going to run. He is getting scattered from long range there by Hank, but not enough to wound him fatally. It was just a little bit of a scratch there. He's going to survive, and Danny is going to snipe, it seems.
Once again, okay, they're pausing again, so I think again connection issues. Hank drops this time. Hopefully no one's getting DDoSed.
Shh, don't
sorry,
say that.
oh God, what did I say?
Don't say those 4 letters.
Sorry. Duh. But Denny
The
actually gets
abbreviation
Zen
that shall not be mentioned.
once again. We're going to completely ignore that, and Denny gets Zen, and that's going to be the entry frag that they need. They're pushing out of this valley area, and the Uber does get forced by Crizzle as he jumps in. It's such a hard area to push out of if you've got Uber, because it's so easy to jump on it if the enemy calls you early.
Smear's gonna go full retard here, jumps ahead and sort of whiffed his jump into Ali, then dropped down, came from the sort of underpass area, tried to jump up onto F2 and died. His spawn is going to be pretty good though, as his team are taking up a defensive position and he will spawn at 2. And against a heavy, that's like going to be a slow push from Lego. There's the force from Caps. He will go down to the minigun of Natural, but if they had a soldier here, they could actually get some momentum, they could keep pushing, but they've got a heavy and they have to just walk forward slowly but surely. The heals have to go to Natural here because he's just going to be the target for all the damage. F2 staying back and eats a little bit of a sticky there, but actually look at the Saints. I've lost another one. Denny goes down just as Caps respawn. Here comes the Uber though. They've been building and they're going to push out here, but they're not going to be able to chase down that 450 HP heavy, even though you did see Izon getting the full charge there. The rest of his team turned around to clear up the players behind, and really a breakdown in communications I feel there, or at least Saints weren't all on the same page there, weren't singing from the same hymn sheet it seemed.
Smear did have 12 health, so he couldn't really do anything to follow up that Uber, and he just had to pick up health and then back out because Izon of course went down. And once again, they've got that heavy to push in. Natural running pretty perma heavy right now. They actually take down Smig. He gets caught out and completely shut down. Cap's going down as well. Chasing F2 and Denny are back into the spawn, and that's just going to be an easy capture. That brings it to 2-1 to Lego, so they're leading for second time, of course, because they capped the first round, didn't they? I'm going to be running up to this fourth middle here, and I'm just going to be watching Dr. Phil's rollout, because it's, you know, the rollouts for this map, there's some really good ones down, but it's not really sort of, you know, there's nothing like the perfect rollouts that have been developed for Badlands.
Oh, you haven't seen the Cadus rollout, man, it's unbelievable. But that's some new technology that's on the scene. Right now though, the middle fight continues, and again, or actually this time, it's Saints who are adopting the slightly passive play into the valley. Now they come up much quicker again than Lego to get up onto that high ground after the roamer threat has been dealt with. But Lego are just hemorrhaging players on the flanks there. Natural and Zen go down, even though Zen manages to get 2. He eventually goes down because he's just starved for support in there. F2 and Dr. Phil are more than happy to just stand in valley. And it seems like Lego are really picking 2 fights on middle. There's no real coordination, no great sense of team play for me as I watch that. But maybe I'm just missing what's really going on right now. Uber's betrayed it as on Kaja, and Smear are gonna just walk in here and put down all damage. Dr. Phil actually got Caps there. I think I just missed that he was maybe supposed to be involved in the Uber, came in from the flank, but he did go down, and that means man advantage here for Lego. But they're 2-1 up. They don't need to rush into this, but they will start to inch their way forward. They've got that heavy weapons guy again. The middle is over, so obviously Natural is going to switch from soldier to heavy. It seems to be working for them, so why not? I don't think Saints would have seen this in practice.
It's not something I've seen, to be honest, running that perma heavy instead of your pocket soldier, except for mids, but it seems to be working for them at the moment, as Smear gets a double kill onto Zen and Hellberg. That's no scouts for them, and Dr. Phil down as well, Crizzle as well, so there's only a heavy medic up right now. That's probably the best thing that he can have to defend him. But Smear's coming in, he gets needled down by F2. Oh my god, the Danish needles. Natural's shotgunning Caps down as well. And, you know, heavy's probably the best thing to defend you. If it's just you as a medic and another player, you want a 450 HP heavy and you just want to stick to him.
Yeah man, if you were playing ulti duo you would want to break out that heavy, but unfortunately it's only soldiers allowed. It's quite weird there that Saints opted to just chase down. I know the heavy's slow, but if they just kept their players alive and pushed together, they would have almost certainly managed to get CP4 there. But they lost 2, and the spawns were coming in for Lego. They had to back off. Now they're going to have to give up middle as it happens. Maybe they might push here and try and force. They're going to send in quite a few players, but it looks like Onkaj is committed to the push as well. He's going to go down. There's a back cap on. Is that the reason in here? F2 pops off charge, but then takes it off because he wants to make sure his team caps here. Izon's going to try and go in for a Hail Mary, see if he can block that point long enough. But the back cap is not happening, and it was Smear, I think, who was the man behind enemy lines using that pain train for the ×2 cap. He's going to bomb in here
again,
and
he's trying to get onto F2, but actually blows himself up.
Some really crazy play.
That could have gone better for him, I'm going to say that. definitely. I think I'm lagging again.
Oh, I hear you, maybe. You're sounding good to me. Maybe I'm lagging. Damn potato connection. But looks like Lego just want to throw bodies onto the point here. Only 3 players remain alive though for the Saints. Onkaji tries to clutch it with the Uber Saw, but just too much firepower in position there for Lego. They're going to make it 3-1 with 14 minutes left on the clock. Still plenty of time for a comeback, but whenever you're up against a guy who's running heavy for 80% of the rounds, the game tends to slow down a little bit. This is tough for Saints, and they seem to be just looking a little bit lost here with their sort of suicidal plays and their big gambles. Maybe they can play a little bit more solid. Onto this middle though, Smear's going to roll out from top, and he's putting a lot of damage onto Phil, down to 20. This should be a good middle for Saints. They deal it instantly with Crizzle, who sort of goes in alone. It's up to Zen here to try and distract the combo, maybe get a medic pick, but he is shut down by the rocket of Caps. He has been playing well thus far on Metalworks. No protection though from Smear. He will eventually get pistol down by Helberg, and Dr. Phil's picked up a 2k on the scouts with some big pipes there. Natural, the only man alive, but Onkaja has survived. Natural, the only Dane alive. He's found Onkaja, he jumps in, Onkaja surfs the rocket, but he hits the wall. Natural gets the frag, and he might even make it a clean up here. He gets the 3k, taking down Izon, and then managing to clutch it against Caps and Onkaja there at the end. What the hell, Natural? The kid's just a natural in this game, you know. He's just he's got a God-given gift. Are you lagging? Are you lagging? Ryushi, talk to me. Oh, John tells me Ryushi just dropped out of Mumble, and I'm getting flashbacks here of the One Night Cup when I had to solo cast on Metalworks right now. It's Lego moving their way forward here, working off the back of that big 3k that Natural produced on middle. It may have been more, but it was definitely 2 important kills as he got medic and the last rumour alive, his bodyguard, Caps. Now, with Onkaja dying so late in the middle, he finds himself at an uber disadvantage. F2 just about to hit 100%, and he's already on top of the Swedes here as they back out. The uber gets popped off. Natural's rocking a soldier now. He's going to be able to give chase and try and find Smear, and he does. And meantime, there's a big block going on as the red combo don't realise that Onkaja has flanked through here. Almost managed to block, but they didn't get up time on top. They fell down below, and what looked like a great play has actually left them with egg on their face. I think Ryushi might have rejoined as well.
Yes, I am back
knows?
now. This is working.
Beautiful,
Yes.
You sound crystal clear.
And I'm going to be watching Smear roll out to this middle. I'm not quite sure what happened at the end of that round as I missed everything, but it looked strong for Lego. So they're losing their middles. They're not being able to put out this damage on middles, but their transition plays with that heavy is just completely stopping Smear's aggression. And once again, this middle, Caps jumps in, takes down Dr. Phil. He gets killed for his troubles, but you know, there's not a lot coming out of Lego. Once again, they're losing players and they're just having to retreat once again. Saints just content to take that high ground and then just push off the advantage that it gives them. And Natural didn't actually go down, so he's still on Soldier. So this could be what Saints need to push, because there's no heavy for them to push against this time.
Dr. Phil really hasn't looked comfortable in any middle thus far. He has just respawned. There's the uber popped off from F2 as he leads with Natural into block here. Onkaja doesn't have it in time. They pushed so fast that they didn't build in time, and he goes down. It wasn't even a drop. He just didn't have charge, and that's something you often see with defending teams actually building uber faster. When you're attacking, you tend to be buffing rather than building. There's a big bomb in from Smear though, tries to find F2, but the legendary Epsilon medic now playing for Lego will manage to survive. He's just too strong. He's not going to fall for that one, and it's just another situation where you see Saints doing these crazy bombs and rolling the dice hoping for the best, and it just hasn't paid off. They are sucking out at the Lego casino here. The house always wins, and right now it's 4-1 with 10 minutes left on the clock. Lego in a strong position here. They can run that clock down, and oh, look at this. It looks like Saints are going to run a little bit of that heavy weapons technology. They're going to give the Lego guys a taste of their own medicine, but they've actually switched off a scout for a heavy, which is an interesting decision.
Well, of course, when Lego do it, it's
Crit
their
Krieg
pocket.
as well.
Natural.
Crit Krieg. Oh,
And
it's
they
a
get
crit
all of it.
for Onkaja here. He's going to lead with Smear. Now, will Izon jump in and make a distraction, or will he just try and protect here? Looks like he's going to play the defensive role, and they're trying to bait out a few easy frags here, but F2 is straight in with that overcharge. He's going to push him in Natural, but as soon as he sees that 450 HP behemoth, the heavy weapons guy, is going to just stop dead in his tracks and wait for back, but now he has the extra damage of Phil here. They're going to try and chip away at the big fat man. Meanwhile, Zen has gone down to Denia. Hellberg finds Denia in response and caps onto Hellberg, so a lot of action going on the flank, but it's really the unstoppable force against the immovable object here as they see this heavy with the... Oh, Crits is about to come into play again as well. The fake call there from Onkaja is scaring the Danes back. Now he might want to hold on to it here. If he has time in F2's Uber, he knows he still has a little bit of a window, but they're just working their way in slowly. There's a soldier on the roof as well. That is Crizzle on the flanks there, working his way into alley. Uber will come up in time for F2 more than likely. Crits is yet to be popped off. And the position here is very close from Onkaja. He's right on top of F2. But that Crit Sticky juggles the Uber Medic and Pocket away from Onkaja for a second, but it's not enough to save his life. And somehow in this melee, Smear has managed to crush the flank with a little help from his scouts. Denny and Smear hooking up there to do a lot of damage, and the combo Uber that you would have thought would have just come out trumps there got crushed. The crits had nothing to do with it, it was just the flank got destroyed. And Saints might be back in this game.
Yeah, they got that. They got the nice crits heavy pick off onto Dr. Phil, which probably helped them a little bit. But then that flank just absolutely coming in and crushing, and that just falling upon Lego like a pack of wolves or some other good metaphor. And they're just, you know, they've taken this. They're still running the heavy for one of their scouts. So Denny is still sat on scout, but with no partner in Hank, who actually is pretty dapper looking heavy. But with that, they can just get aggressive. You know, they don't really want to play point with this heavy. They just want to go for frags and just clean up the enemy team. Although that might be hard, as there is going to be a level 3 sentry, and there is going to be...
Here comes the crits! Crit Sticky tags the heavy, loses Zen's buff, he's down to 100 from 450, and the heavy of Hank is just rolling in, distraction heavy from the left hand side, but he's the only man alive and he finds a level 3 sentry. And NG here in his position, maybe if he ducked he might have been able to avoid that, but there was a medic behind him as well, and that was pretty crazy right there. Kritzkrieg is going to maintain the Uber charge of choice though for Onkaja. Here comes the Lego team though, they're working their way forward. Hellberg's gone down to Caps. A little bit of rumor play there from Caps, managing to buy time and force off the Uber, and his team's combo, the Saints combo, are in a safe spot here. They still have a heavy as well. Maybe heavy is the new metagame, we're witnessing it unfold live tonight on Blackout.
I'm not feeling it. I hope it won't be. Heavy play is... I mean, it's good to watch every once in a while, but not for an entire map. Although Hank's completely shutting down Zen there, and it's probably just going to be a recap here. They've got the position, they've got that crits advantage. In fact, Smear's getting really aggressive here. They pop the crits out, but it doesn't manage to catch anyone. They all escape through the door, and he's just firing off random stickies through the door, trying to find anyone. Not going to find anything. And they've lost the advantage with that because F2 is now sat on 75%.
Oh, he's on a crit sticky! Natural standing on top of a crit sticky! And then his teammate are calling to him, there's a crit there, boosh. Soldiers whipping out shotguns to take that down. But for a moment there was a great opportunity for a blind death from Smear. But here comes Saints working their way forward. Looks like they're going to play for a little bit of an Uber force, or... Oh, Hellberg straight with the fully charged headshot onto Hank. Didn't matter how much of a buff he had there, he was going to die.
That's not something you want to happen, really, but of course they've got that 95% crits right now, so whether they'll push in with it, whether they want to go for the crits advantage, natural goes down there, but it's not actually going to be anything, and F2 just pops his off, you know, keeps it on his demo man, just make sure that they're all still alive. There's crit stickies all over the place, there's one on the bridge, and there's a couple just the other side of this sliding door, but no, they get popped. Trying to go for the blind debt, but doesn't manage to make anything. And F2 just building with his scout right now, quite content. But Dr. Phil taking down Smear with that entrance, just shutting him down completely.
Yeah, and Saints know that the clock's ticking down here, 5 minutes left, and a 3-round deficit to overcome. That's why they're trying to keep peeking here when they don't have charge and see if there's an opening, can they make something happen. They did get that Uber charge out of F2, which means they do have the sort of natural crits advantage that you get from that 20% reduced build time. Now it's a decision as where to pop off. I think they realised the right side was sticky. Now they're going to just crits in from main, but with that big ass steel wall in front, F2 looks pretty safe. He does actually pop Uber, but Zen dies. The scout that was building will die, and oh, Saints have lost 4 players in that play, and that will be enough, I believe, for Lego to push out here if they wanted to, but they don't seem too
I think they're quite
man.
content to just push the time down, really. To just let it run down. They're 4-1 up, there's 4 minutes left. It theoretically could still be a golden cap for Saints, so they're quite content to just waste a few minutes before they start to push out.
They need to push non-Ubered, man. They shouldn't be waiting here and just building up charge. I feel they should just go for it and try and create some sort of scrappy situation, but they're going to wait for that crits again, and they need to be using it pretty much now, because F2 is just 10% away. That's 4 seconds off an Uber charge. The sentry has been moved. The Spy of Hank is going to see it here. Spy saps the sentry. Fritz is able to come in without the fear of that level 3. Hank does go down, but the sentry will also go down. The NG will switch it off to Scout though, I think. And Uber gets popped off, and the crits is popped off, so this is the point where I want to see them come in again and push dry. But they've all come in from that left-hand door and taken a lot of spam on entry. Krizzle gets a 2k there, finds Caps and Vera. Just the power of spam in those confined spaces seems to be enough to keep Saints out and maybe just smash their dreams, like your little brother falling into your Lego pirate ships. There you go, that's a beautiful picture with a Lego reference. You love that.
I never had any Lego pirate ships.
I feel cheated.
Well, I'm just letting out too much information about my spoiled childhood.
Really?
Lego pyro ships, plural, man, not just one. Two of those bad boys.
Wow. That's... I thought you were poor and Irish though. I thought that's how it worked.
This was in the soup kitchen. They happened to have 2 Lego pirate ships.
Oh, I see.
There comes the crits though. Dr. Phil's got stickies all over the point. Denny and Hank commit just a little bit too soon. They get played by Dr. Phil, the American Agony and chat show host. And
that's a complete perfect wipe there for Lego. And they're just going to cap the point and just be content. They might push out to middle. They might not. I mean, they got 2 minutes 20 left. They just got a full wipe defending their last point. They're content to just sit.
Look at this!
Wait, but
the hidden Krizzle!
Oh,
There's 2 bits actually going on here as well. There's something going on in the valley as well, but I think surely Saints know that the writing is on the wall. There's only 2 minutes left, and they got 3 rounds to win within that time. Yet they're the ones sitting back here. I would be just pushing, going ham here. They're going to do
just
that
looking
now,
for that
seems.
extra round. They can't win right now, but they should be going to just buff up their stats. You know, Gentleman John's doing stuff like that for all matches.
Oh,
you know?
true.
They should be going.
They get that damage up.
And there we go. Dr.
Kazi gets
Phil
caught out.
just destroying everything with the sticks right there. I haven't looked at any of the logs yet, but I reckon it's going to be pretty damn big damage stats for him. Both maps.
There's Hank going in. We're going to see the Pyro of eyes on as well. Pocket Soldier now. Pocket Pyro just running into Dr. Phil. They must have some sort of agreement with Dr. Phil where they're just going to pad his stats out here. Extra damage and frags to make him look good on Metalworks. And he seemed to be struggling so often on middles, but it's all water under the bridge right now. His middle performance isn't going to have an impact on the overall score, as 4-1 seems to be the way it's going to end. At least could be 5-1 here, as Saints just seemingly losing their composure.
Definitely stop taking this seriously as on casual off-casting there to Pyro, going for that axe kill.
But I mean, what went wrong for Saints here? I mean, their mids, they won, I think, every single middle basically. Yet they just couldn't seem to push that last. Was it the last, or was it the transitions? Was it the heavy? What do you think was, you know, completely ruining it for them?
It just seemed to be like all their plays outside the middle were big gambles. They had like some crazy back caps, or they'd lose a player and then they just think, oh, let's suicide 3 here to try and kill F2, who's got like a great pocket and himself can dodge fairly effectively. So it just didn't seem to be the right choice. Maybe they just didn't feel they could play a solid game against Lego. Maybe they felt a little bit scared, like they didn't think they could compete. They had to try for these gimmicky plays, or maybe that's just the way they do play. But it has ended now 5-1. F2 is telling me that there are some special stats in the log. So Ryushi, tell me your thoughts on the game while I take a look at this and see what is he talking about.
Absolutely no idea. I thought it was a really, really good game. The first map was obviously a lot closer with Saints eventually winning that, but this map, they had their perfect middle composure, and then I really feel it was that heavy. You know, Natural, he wasn't doing a lot at mids, and he died a lot of the time, but just switching onto that heavy class, Saints just didn't know how to deal with it, and that, I think, resulted in the crazy plays from them. Maybe they haven't practiced this map as much as the other ones, because Lego, their transitions were really, really good, and their last defenses were really good. Their middles obviously could have done with a lot of work, but it didn't really matter in the end, to be honest.
Get this, F2 is such a baller medic nerd that I don't know if you know, but the medic stats in the logs from the supplemental stats and various things have never been fully accurate. They don't count overheals, but F2 programmed his own plugin that's on this Danish server. So if you look at the logs, hopefully John might get them up on the screen. He's got the very accurate damage or healing stats there. That they're like what you see on the scoreboard at the end. It's the same sort of total, but on top of that, if you open up the chat at the bottom of the log, he's then got these additional stats. So for example, if I just read out here, I'm looking at the Metalworks. Oh no, that's not it. I'm looking at the Badlands log, right? And if you open up the chat at the bottom, at the end of it, it then says all these cool things like it's just about medics really. Blue versus red, like average time after spawning before healing, average time to build an Uber, average time having 100% charge and not using it. All these little interesting stats that he's brought into the game here, all based around medic. This guy's so keen. Can you see that, John? Have you got it up on the cast?
That's really cool. I'm looking at the Metalworks stuff right now, and
I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not entirely sure how it translates to who won and things like that, because
It's just something for medics to nerd out over. Maybe that's why I'm getting so excited. Nobody gives a fuck, is that it?
I think it's cool, and as a main self, I would love to know these things, but like I can't tell which team's which and which team helped which.
Oh, it's
average time to build Uber. Saints was actually building Uber a lot quicker on Metalworks, although of course they were building
there are a lot of
crits.
crits.
It doesn't differentiate between crits and Uber, so perhaps that's something he could work on.
God damn it, F2.
Yeah, come on,
God
try harder. I mean, if you're gonna make yourself your own medic plugin, at least do it properly. God.
They've also got the amazing coloured chat, so they can spam Denmark vendor in there with the big Danish flag in ASCII coloured text.
Yes, I had noticed that. That's wow.
That's how they got so far in the Nations Cup before, just crushing people's spirit with that bind. But looking at Metalworks stats, it's a fairly even battle between the demo men. Obviously, there was a lot of extra damage for Phil at the end there when Saints were just going full retard, but a very solid game from F2. Look at the 7 deaths, plenty of assists as well there, you know. That's something I often look at the medic stats. The kills and assists per death is a very important statistic because it tells you just how involved your medic was in the fight or how effective your combo was. It's not a 100% reliable stat, but I think it's a good one to monitor as well.
Yeah, definitely. Are we going to get any interviews to any of the players? Because I think we should definitely talk to them if we can. Have lots of them on your friends lists. I have none.
Yeah, we could get F2 in here maybe. We'll see.
Well, I think
you should talk though whilst I type to them.
Well, obviously, I mean, I was going to do that. I'm not that thick, honest. But I mean, looking at the stats right now, I mean, I'm looking at the Metalworks, and top fragging was Natural, but he ran heavy. It says here he only ran heavy for 8 minutes, but it must have been longer than that. I swear he was running heavy for so long. It just completely stopped pushes, in my opinion. It's just such a good thing to have.
Kads just signed up for an interview.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Now, will F2 be man enough?
That is a question. But I mean, other things as well. I mean, like Caps was doing really, really well. I think. Who would you give your man of the match to?
Maybe F2. Maybe Natural, really solid. Let me check out Natural's Badlands stats, but like he was rock solid there on the Metalworks at the end. Let's just see how he did on Badlands. Pretty decent as well. I'd think over the 2 maps, Natural or F2, yeah.
Actually, I was I would have given it to maybe Denia. I think although Saints ended up losing, I think Denia did really, really well, and his aggressive plays really really won them the game on Badlands, in my opinion.
Yeah, those picks on F2 won a lot of medals. We are joined right now by Onkaya. Kaya?
Kaya. It's it. Hello.
Oh, great. We've been saying it all completely wrong all match. No worries.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
maybe.
everyone calls it on Kaja. It's okay. You can say it, bro. I don't care.
You do care. You won't sleep tonight when you hear the VOD.
You damn
Kaja,
me.
Kaja, 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 Kaja.
I'm so angry.
Yeah, you definitely sound it.
You sound husky.
Yeah.
Tell us about Metalworks. Let's just go straight to the horrible part. You had a pretty solid performance on Badlands. Looked like Lego were going to come back into it. Then you got that golden cap back cap with Hank. But then on Metalworks, you were doing really well on medals. You had let me look at the stats. Actually, first caps you had 4 medals. 4 of the 2 medals went to Saints, but you only managed to get 1 round on the board. What exactly was your problem on Metalworks?
I guess we haven't practiced the metalwork that much. You know, it's a new map, and also we haven't really played against a team that actually can hold last. Like last was so incredibly difficult to push into.
What about that heavy weapons guy of Natural? Was that something you've seen in practice?
Like no, we haven't played against a heavy weapons guy, but like they have a heavy weapons guy and a sentry and a sniper. Like it's impossible to push into that if you haven't practiced it.
Especially like Hellberg is a guy who seems to get a frag every time. Like as a medic, are you thinking, I know Hellberg's sniping here, I have to uber early, or do you gamble and just hope that he misses whenever you're coming in to last? He always seems to get 1 frag, either if it's not in the combo, he might get somebody in the flank, but how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
I didn't really contemplate on that actually. I don't know Hellberg as a player, and well, he seems like a solid sniper and solid scout, but I didn't think his performance was outstanding, like he raped us or anything, so no.
But in the context of those last pushes, whenever Saints were trying to push last on Metalworks, quite often it seemed like Hellberg was getting headshots.
No, it was definitely not Hellberg all the time. It was Dr. Phil. Okay. It was all the team. We got so pressured from like everyone. So
and we were discussing our men of the matches there. Whose performance do you think stood out for you across both maps? Who were you impressed by on the enemy team, or even your own team?
I don't. As I said, I don't think. I don't know this place that much unless it's like incredible as 6-man or something.
You're too involved. You're too in the zone playing medic.
Yeah, I don't care if someone makes a play. That's it. But Daniel's headshot onto that demo man, it was pretty sick.
I think we've been joined by Nigel as well.
Yeah, you have indeed. Hello.
Hello. So I'm pretty sure you heard that question. Can we pass that over to you as well? Who do you think did particularly outstanding on either team, really?
Well, on our own team, I guess the obvious choice is, as always, our star medic, F2. He just, he stays alive in some good situations, and he knows, like, when we're failing, when to get out, when to save, like, whatever Uber we have. So that's the obvious choice. But also, some of the guys who've come from Div 2 to 3, Sen and Dr. Phil, I think they performed well.
We were just, or I was anyway, giving you credit as man of the match there. So, do you think you played well? Were you happy with your own performance?
Yeah, especially on what's it called, Middleworks. I think I did well with the heavy as well. To shut them down quite a bit with the heavy when they tried to jump and so on. So that was quite good.
Is that something you've practiced a lot? Or was it just a pocket strat?
We tend to do that, run me as heavy because I like heavy a lot. It's my favorite class, so it's kind of me just trying to go with it and implement it to our gameplay.
Have you played heavy for the Danish Highlander team?
No, I played what was it, demo actually for a bit. That was mostly just a just fun.
Is it particular a strategy you try and break out on Metalworks, or was it to do with the
I
fact that
don't
you had
know.
a
It's mostly when we were a few
you were
rounds
winning?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just try to slow it down, obviously, a bit because it's unofficial, and we want to run the clock a bit. And that's what we, especially did on last point when we were up 4-1, and there was like 6 minutes, and they had the crits. We just focused on, keeping our heads down back there, and not die and don't push stupidly. Just keep defending.
How was Badlands for you? Because I mean, obviously you lost that to that gorgeous back cap from Hank out DMing Crizzle on last point.
Yeah, well, as a team, we had a really not so good map on Badlands. I'd say that Badlands is normally one of our stronger maps, but we just kind of lacked the synergy, and the focus fire, and our pushes weren't so good. So, and also me as a main caller, I wasn't feeling it, and I wasn't specific enough at times, perhaps. So.
Did you think you were sort of out of sync with your team there?
Sometimes... No, not me personally. It was just they had us pinned down at some points. When they were up, was it 2-1 or whatever, and we kind of had to push to get something going. And we went out, and we go a scout down, and then I die or whatever, and then it's kind of a failed push, and then was it Denya who hit that sick headshot on Phil or something, and it's just at some points on Badlands we got picked off too much, and it was only really after we went down 3-1 and started getting some momentum and pulled it back.
Yeah, there was a couple of middles in a row there on Badlands where Denia just ran in and killed F2. I mean, you're the pocket. Is that your responsibility, or do you feel you're the guy who has to jump in?
Well, I'm not going to give away our strats here, but mostly, I jump. So obviously, sometimes if he's very early there, I have to shoot him. But otherwise, we leave it to a scout and our demo, and we try to have the aggression come from Crystal and I.
So you're going to throw your scouts and demo under the bus and say it was totally their fault, Dr. Phil, Zen, Hellberg.
Of course I'm not. But then again, it was very good for us to pull it back on Badlands and get that 1 point. Obviously, that's what's going to make the difference. Looking forward on the table, getting those that extra point really helps. So we get more points than Saints do. And that's important, obviously.
Yeah, on Kaja. Kaja, looking at the big picture here, coming into this game, you came off the back of a defeat against 425 that shocked a lot of people. What was your mindset coming into this game? Were you just happy to get one map, or were you coming in here looking for the 6 points?
No, we would always try to win. That's the thing. Yeah. That's you have to get points in order to.
But how was the team confidence? Coming off the back of that loss, were you guys downhearted, or were you sort of re-energized?
Or team confidence wasn't that high due to us having to use a Merc because Vanilla suddenly not appearing.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times. Is that maybe I'm prying a little bit too much, but is he available? Does he scrim much?
It's random. He comes when he wants to, basically.
That's probably not good for the team.
Exactly.
So tell me this then, with Impractical Project, aka Solar, folding recently, there might be a few Swedish players on the market there. Are you going to pick up another soldier, or are you going to try and reinforce your roster a little bit?
Don't know, I haven't contemplated on it.
But is this becoming a problem, that Vanilla is a little bit unreliable in terms of scheduling, whatever?
He's moved to backup now.
Is Izon back on the roster then?
No.
So who's main?
No one. It's a vacant main spot.
Okay. Of course, with Hicks possibly coming available, if Solar sort of split up a little bit, that'd be a possible pickup.
I don't know if Hicks wants to. I heard he wanted to quit TF2 or something. But
yeah, I heard that was one of the reasons.
But if Hicks wants to, then contact me, okay?
There you go, ahead.
Can't think of any more questions.
You're not supposed to say that, man. You're just supposed to play it cool and wrap it up. So I'll let you introduce us.
Okay, we've been Blackout Gaming TV. I've been Ryushi, with me in the cast booth has been Admirable. Catching all the beautiful shots has been John, and I want to give quick thanks to Natural and Onkaja for coming on and being great sports and having interviews. If you guys have got any shout outs, do them now.
Yeah, shout out to our sponsor Calm, obviously, who's paying for our mumble in our server.
Shout out to our sponsor publicly for sponsoring us to LAN.
Shout out to F2 for making those nerd logs for medics. Everybody should check that out and demand that he releases this publicly so everybody can have sick heal stats. I'll put it in the chat again just so everybody can see this.
John, I'm not repeating your shout outs.
Oh, John, sick bastard.
Yeah, so this has been a Division 1 match, week 3, between LEGO and Saint, finishing in a 4-2 victory for LEGO over the overall standings. And good night.